Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The Senate Labor and Commerce Committee heard public testimony today from Alaskans in regard to Senate Bill 23.
The legislation would allow the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority to begin the financial planning and bonding needed to jumpstart a liquid natural gas trucking project. The Senate Labor and Commerce Committee heard testimony from Gene Theriault of the Alaska Energy Authority and Ted Leonard, Executive Director of the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority. Both are hopeful the committee will pass SB 23 forward. So too, every person giving public testimony in Fairbanks via teleconference.
The high cost of space heating and electricity is driving away business from our community, and the Chamber implores the legislature to take action this legislative session and urges you to pass Senate Bill 23 out of your committee.
You know, the high cost of energy is killing residents and businesses in the interior. It's not just the Fairbanks area. As you've heard, it's the highway system, it's a river system. You know, we believe the governor's leadership with Senate Bill 23 provides ADA and AEA the tools to leverage state funding to solve this problem.
The high cost of energy has forced local homeowners to start heating their homes with wood. Wood smoke is a problem in the Fairbanks area with the PM 2.5. The EPA, the DEC, has already identified Fairbanks as a problematic area that needs rapid attention. We can solve this problem by bringing gas here that will be available in the fourth quarter of 2015.
The committee also heard testimony from business owners from Anchorage and the Mat-Su, who also own businesses in Fairbanks. Those owners say utility costs in the interior are about double what their business costs to operate in South Central. Other than allowing for public testimony, Labor and Commerce Committee took no further action on SB 23. Meanwhile, at the weekly Chamber of Commerce meeting today, an assistant to Senator Mark Begich says his office is doing what they can to help the process move along without federal roadblocks in regard to natural gas.
I mean, we've had legislation on doing a little bit of better permit coordination, making sure that a federal permitting process can happen more efficiently and cheaper. We're looking forward to seeing what we can do there, potentially with some tax issues as well.
The Alaska 1002 Coastal Plan was set aside by Congress for energy exploration. It's believed that this piece of land, roughly 1.5 million acres, contains billions of barrels of oil. All legislation related to the 1002 Coastal Plan calls for a limit of 2,000 surface acres for equipment and site pads. Opening up the 1002 area will create thousands of jobs, increase state and federal revenue, increase domestic oil production, and play a crucial role in the decrease of the federal deficit, according to the group Arctic Power.
The Comprehensive Conservation Plan is going to be announced soon, and the Department of Interior may illegally be trying to lock it up. ANILCA prevents that from happening, so what we're trying to do is get people to show that they support it. 92% of the refuge will never be touched. It's the 1002 area that was set aside. It's right next to Prudhoe Bay. It's right next to Point Thompson.
Average retail gasoline prices in Alaska and across the country are again on the rise, this time because of the change in seasons. Refineries have to change from winter to summer blends and also do required maintenance. That causes fuel production to tighten in the majority of the country's refineries. Los Angeles is at $4.28 a gallon, with a 55-cent per gallon increase in the past month. Chicago and Detroit were also over $4 a gallon, according to listings on GasBuddy.com. Now, prices in Fairbanks are ranging from between $3.77 to $3.95.
Late last week, we saw double-digit increases in wholesale prices. The national average today is $3.71 a gallon, and that's up 45 cents a gallon in the past month. And in Alaska, we have the state average at $3.87 today. That's also up 31 cents a gallon in the past month.
Well, all these issues with gas prices, you know,
Right.
Seasons can affect it.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely, and weather.
And weather, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Just going up, up, up. All right, well, when we come back, the annual Warrior Youth Conference is slated for this weekend.
And in our health report, a preview of the 7th Annual Diabetes Expo. Stay with us.
This edition of the Fairbanks Evening News is brought to you by Nissan, innovation that excites. Spadard Builder Supply, Denali State Bank, your community bank. And by Napa Alaska Stores. Napa know-how.
And welcome back. The 25-year-old co-defendant in felony robbery and drug case came to Fairbanks Superior Court this afternoon a free man, and after a brief arraignment hearing, he left in handcuffs. James Nicholas Cook faces a 6-count indictment that includes first-degree robbery and drug misconduct charges. Jason Benjamin O'Brien, an alleged accomplice, faces the same charges. According to Alaska State Troopers, a woman told police O'Brien robbed her of $500 in the Red Fox parking lot on January 30th. When interviewed by troopers, O'Brien said Cook drove him there to get some heroin. O'Brien says he was going to sell the drugs to pay back money he owed his grandmother. O'Brien has been in jail since the case first broke, but Cook remained at large on a no-bail warrant. He was arrested shortly after today's arraignment hearing.
Former State Senator Albert Cookish is in Anchorage Hospital after suffering an apparent heart attack. The Democrat from Angoon was taken Monday morning from Juneau to Providence, Alaska Medical Center, where the Juneau Empire says he is listed in critical condition. His daughter, Elaine Cookish, says her father was at the Juneau International Airport waiting to board a flight when he had a heart attack. She says doctors are keeping her father sedated and are optimistic about the outcome. Now, Cookish is the current chairman of the Sea Alaska Corporation Board of Directors.
This coming Thursday and Friday is parent-teacher conference days for the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. And while students have these days off, a local ministry is hopeful many will attend their annual youth conference. This Generation Ministries will host the annual Warrior Generation Youth Conference February 21st through the 23rd. The 3-day conference allows youth to interact with each other and listen in on lectures and workshops in a non-traditional way. TGM staff say one of the primary focuses of the conference is to empower youth with tools for success that will help them throughout their day-to-day lives. Staff say it's also often hard to get youth to discuss relationships and relationship success, but it is another one of their primary focuses within the conference.
It often starts with a relationship that went wrong. And so we really want to empower young people to, with the tools and guidance, especially in the adolescent years, that they can have successful relationships now and also help set them up for committed, successful relationships later.
For more information on the Warrior Generation Youth Conference, you can visit tmgalaska.com.
A proposed constitutional amendment that would allow public money to be used for private schools will be heard by the Senate Education Committee during the legislative process. Senate President Charlie Huggins faced criticism Friday for deciding to pull SJR 9 from its Education Committee referral and instead have it heard by the Senate Judiciary and Finance Committees. The Senate approved the change with Democratic Senator Dennis Egan, who was part of the GOP-led majority, joining the minority Democrats present and voting against it.
The 7th annual Fairbanks Diabetes Expo is set for this weekend. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has details in this week's health report.
Fairbanks Memorial Hospital's Diabetes Center hosts the free expo about diabetes Saturday at West Valley High School. It will consist of educational seminars and booth exhibits with classes throughout the day. Diabetes is one of the most underdiagnosed diseases that there is.
That they have diabetes is the tip of the iceberg. Most people don't even realize or recognize that they have type 2 diabetes.
Seminars and other events like the Diabetes Expo are important ways to spread the word about the disease.
If you are in a risk group for type 2 diabetes, or if you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or if you have type 1 diabetes, education is one of the key components of taking good care of yourself.
Food is the main way that anyone with diabetes will control it.
Recognizing what foods impact your blood sugar and how to change old habits is really key, one of the key components in managing diabetes.
We'll have more about the upcoming expo on the Friday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
So a lot going on in sports, I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine, so much so that Joe can't even bother to sit here for the teas for sports, but that's all right. Anyway, he's
got it cooking for you guys.
Exactly. He's got some sports news from up on the hill. Hockey player who is up for a big award for his success off the ice, and more Iron Dog updates. Great. A lot of sports and mascots.
Come back and see Joe.
Yeah.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you this evening. Hope you're having a good day. And to make it better, let's talk some sports. The Nanook skiers are bringing back some high accolades from the CCSA championships. The women's team led by Allison McFeeters individual 15K title finished in second place. North Michigan won by just 20 points. McFeeters won by 8.6 seconds, coming in just under 49 minutes. Teammates won titles as well, including Rafaela Siebert in the 5K Classic and Merritt Yabaz, 1.5K title. The women's team finished 1-3-5-6 on Sunday, outscoring Northern Michigan 75-72 to secure second place. For the men's team, they had 4 top 10 finishes in the 20K mass start and notched third place. Senior Lex Trennan had the top finish for UAF. He had a third place finish in 55 minutes, 30.5 seconds, which was 5 seconds out of the top spot. Freshman Mike Fehrenbach was 4th. Giannis Loeffler and Max Olix were 8th and 9th. Now the skiers will be in the NCAA Central Region Championships in Halton, Michigan this weekend. And the 5th-ranked Nanook rifle team seems to answer the call on the big stage in the second day of NCAA qualifying on Sunday in El Paso, Texas. The UAF shooters posted a season high in air rifle and shot a combined 4.672, their second highest score of the season. The air rifle tally was 23.59. Matt Erickson shot a 5.93, a season and personal best for him, and he led all Nanook shooters. Teammate Ryan Anderson had a 5.92, which ties his season and personal best as well. The Nanooks could be seated as high as 4th in NCAAs. The NCAA championships in rifle start March 8th at Ohio State University. And over the weekend, the Nanook hockey team was swept by conference rival Lake Superior State 5-1 on Friday and 4-2 on Saturday. Even though the Nanooks outshot the Lakers 82-59 in the series, the sweep drops the Nanook out of the USCHO, but they still receive 4 votes. UAF is tied for 20th in the pairwise, but despite the drop, one player provides a pick-me-up off the ice. Cora Ortegaard, the senior defenseman, is one of the 5 finalists for the 2013 Humanitarian Award, and he's a repeat nominee. In addition to his heavy community involvement with various events and programs, Odegaard and Sean Head, Alaska's volunteer office manager, co-founded the With All Your Heart campaign last year, which raises money for the Harry and Sally Porter Heart Center at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Odegaard's father had a major heart attack in the summer of 2011, which inspired him to help people with heart conditions in Fairbanks. So far, With All Your Heart has raised close to $140,000 for Fairbanks heart patients. The humanitarian award winner will be announced in April in Pittsburgh during the Frozen Four weekend. And the Nanook swimming team earned 8th place at the conclusion of the PCSC Championship Saturday. Benty Heller received a medal in the 100 free for second place with a 52.20-second swim. The Nanooks were 3rd in the 400 relay in under 3 minutes and 29 seconds, thanks to the team of Heller, Danielle Lyons, Gabby Summers, and Margot Adams. 11 all-conference swims for the Nanooks this year, including Adams' 100 butterfly title. The field for the 2013 NCAA Championships will be released this week, as the meet will start March 6th in Birmingham, Alabama. And we have a little high school basketball to mention. Darren Silas, well, you can call him Mr. Clutch now. On Sunday, Silas hit a shot at the buzzer to give the Hawks a 55-53 win over the Petersburg Vikings for 3rd place in the Valdez Elks tournament. Daniel Page added 12 for Hutch. Silas had 22 points and was an all-tournament selection. The Hawks also won the Sportsmanship Award. The Hutchinson girls fell to Valdez in the 3rd place game, but Mimi Wood was an all-tournament selection. The Hawks host Delta tonight in a doubleheader. And in Central Interior Conference action, the Effie Cochran Warriors triumphed with a tight 59-58 decision over Tri-Valley. Derek Terry led Cochran, scoring 11 points in the 4th quarter. Price Levette had a game-high 23 for the Warriors as they come back from a 4-point deficit in the 4th. The Lady Warriors lost 30-22 to Tri-Valley. Evelyn Tanape scored 19 of Effie's 22 points in the loss. Well, if you have an itch, you scratch it, right? Well, the trail for the 2013 Iron Dog has been an itchy one. 11 teams have been scratched. The main reasons have been mechanical problems and injuries. There was even a report of frostbite. The local teams of Harold Atla of Fairbanks and Ashley Wallace of Tanana joined Brad Dietrich and Tim Yohala among the scratched. 3 teams are trying not to scratch their end of the race itch by trying to fix their sleds, but there are still teams in the running, and here is the leaderboard. The Defending champs McKenna and Van Meter were the first to know, so they get the $10,000 once again. Then it's Dick and Quam, George and Bartell, Alkestad and Johnson, and Davis and Palin who round out the top 5. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTVF sports, just log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and you can always download our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at weather, starting off with a really interesting photograph. This is called Bent Snow. It was sent in by Douglas Hansen, and you can see why it's called Bent Snow. Look at that, just kind of working its way around this piece of wood, and a nice photograph. Interesting technique there. Again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means send to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Here's what's going on at the airport this morning. Would you, I should say right now, but this morning, would you believe it was 41 degrees below zero at the airport? Wow, 2 degrees below zero for the high today. The overnight low in 1932 got down to 51 below and 41 above in 2008 for the record high. Sunrise and sunset works out to over 9 hours of daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Okay, our satellite picture, once again, a lot of energy coming up from the southwest. That's helping to bring the warmer air, but you can see also bringing a lot of moisture with it. Question is, how much is going to work its way past the Alaska Range? Right now, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but it is going to change our weather, at least bring us warmer temperatures. Speaking of temperatures across the state, as you can see, it is quite mild around Kodiak, 35 degrees there, 34 at Cold Bay. Over southeast Alaska, pretty warm too at Ketchikan, 41 degrees there. Sunshine over the western half of the state, and on the north slope, 23 degrees below zero at Barrow, and Fort Yukon, 9 degrees below zero. Last night, we were talking about a storm working its way across the Pacific Northwest and the western half of the country. Well, it is coming in right now. In fact, rain not too far away from Los Angeles. Elsewhere across the country, you can see things are looking pretty good. Chilly, Minneapolis, 9 degrees today. On our satellite radar, one storm system moving across the Great Lakes and over the northeast. Here comes the big monster, bringing a lot of cold air with all the way down the west coast and expected to bring snow levels down to 2,000 feet. A lot of problems, even some snow possible in Las Vegas later on tonight. How about that? And more storminess across the western half of Texas, all because of this storm that's going to become even a bigger storm for the Midwest and the Central Plains by Thursday. All right, back to Alaska where things are a lot calmer. The northern section's looking at partly cloudy skies for Barrow, mostly sunny skies at Nome, and windy and cold in the Fort Yukon area. Over the interior, we're looking at, again, increasing clouds and warmer for both Fairbanks and Healy. Over southeast Alaska, rainy and kind of showery conditions across Juneau and Ketchikan. Over to the southwest, we'll be looking at blowing snow in Cold Bay and Bethel, and rain and snow in Kodiak. And over the south central regions, looks like cloudy skies, a little snow at Homer and Anchorage, with 1 to 3 inches expected at Valdez. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And this week we're talking with the kids from the Watershed School. And tonight, a young lady with a picture of snowflakes.
Hello, my name's Gazelle, and I'm in Mr. Merle's 4th grade class, and this is my weather picture. This is a close-up of snowflakes. I wanted to do snowflakes because I like snowflakes.
Very nice. And tomorrow night, a young man will be here to ask a weather question of me. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. As you can see, 30 below, one more night of really cold temperatures and some morning fog. Tomorrow's forecast calling for things to turn around. 5 below for the high with increasing clouds, and even the extended forecast looking a little more encouraging. Looking at 5 below each day to 5 above by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A little snow possible for Thursday and Friday. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies through the weekend. Overnight lows also not too uncomfortable. Looking at temperatures in the teens below all the days after getting some cold temperatures this morning. I can't believe it was 41 degrees below zero at the airport. Daryl and I was talking about it. It just didn't feel that cold this morning.
No, it didn't. And it didn't feel that cold yesterday either. Yeah. But then again, the sun has been out.
Really helps out a lot. It's a beautiful day, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All things aside, I mean, this is pretty mild for February.
Yeah, and it's kind of a transition.
Would you say 41 below is mild?
Well, you know, I mean, normally it stays that way.
Shorts weather,
so above zero, and I'll take it.
Okay. With that, we'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, new evidence linking China's military to extensive computer hacking here in the U.S. Now that's next with Brian Williams.
Remember, you can check us out online anytime at webcenter11.com and
Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and our app.
Wow.
We're everywhere.
All right. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night. Bye.